today announcing that after discussions between the board and George Burley, it has been mutually agreed that because of irreconcilable differences, George Burley will not continue as manager of the club with immediate effect.
12 games as Hearts manager for George Burley, 9 wins, his team unbeaten leaders of the SPL. But this success story was never likely to last, with Burley and owner Vladimir Romanov on a seemingly permanent collision course. There was only ever going to be one winner. It may have seemed to Hearts supporters that it was a beautiful relationship as their team elbowed the Old Firm aside to be early season title pace setters, but the combination of Baltic businessman Romanov and the single-minded Burley turned out to be a marriage made in hell. Irreconcilable differences between the pair was cited by Hearts last night as the official reason for manager and club to part company by, it was said, mutual consent. We'll hear from our regular pundit and George's nephew, Craig Burley, shortly, and from Billy Dodds as well. And of course, we'll see all the action from yesterday's games in the SPL, plus live coverage of Kilmarnock against Celtic here at Rugby Park. But let's start with the biggest story of this Scottish football season. Romanov's dream turned into Burley's nightmare. At first glance, George Burley was exactly the sort of high-profile managerial appointment Hearts were looking for to underline their new heightened ambition. He mixed a hastily assembled squad of foreign imports with the established Scottish core of the team and produced instant results.
Here's a chance now for Hearts. It's got to go in this time. Hearts had the lead. It's Rudolf Sketcher who scored.
But rumours quickly surfaced that the relationship between manager and major shareholder Vladimir Romanov was a fragile one. Romanov is known to have strong footballing opinions of his own and wasn't afraid to make Burley aware of them. But while their relationship simmered, Hearts continued to confound the critics and keep their unbeaten record at the top of the SPL, showing they could mix it with the Old Firm along the way.
Gets the equaliser.
Hearts left Celtic Park 3 points clear in the league, and on Friday, Romanov announced his plan to take full control of the club and acquire enough equity to have them delisted from the stock market. Less than 24 hours later, George Burley was no longer Hearts manager. The news broke before their game against Dunfermline and was confirmed afterwards.
Heart of Midlothian Football Club are today announcing that after discussions between the board and George Burley, it has been mutually agreed that because of irreconcilable differences, George Burley will not continue as manager of the club with immediate effect. Now, the board is currently looking for a new top-class manager worthy of Heart of Midlothian Football Club to take us to a Champions League place in the Scottish Premier League. And in the interim, John McGlynn has been appointed as caretaker manager. He was in charge today, and you saw the victory today, and the team did extremely well. In relation to George Burley parting company with the club, Mr. Burley and all the associated parties are going to make no further comment in relation to his departure because of confidentiality agreements which all parties have agreed to.
George, would you agree it's bizarre to lose a manager when you're top of the league and unbeaten?
Well, strange things happen in football, as I've discovered as I've been chairman for a year and a half. But what I'm concentrating on now is the future of Heart of Midlothian Football Club. This club has been moving from strength to strength with the resources that Vladimir Romanov has put in. We clearly have got a team, as we saw again today, which is capable of getting a Champions League place in the SPL. And what we need now, and what we're going to concentrate on now, is getting a manager who will achieve that for us. and we want to make sure that there's no undue delay, and so we're starting immediately with immediate effect to find a manager. And we're not going to rush, because we want to make sure that it is that the manager is the right person with the right qualifications to take us to that place in Europe.
How many managers will be able to work the way Mr. Romanov works, i.e. he buys the players and the manager's just has to be a simple coach?
That's not the case. That's not the case.
He said that's the case.
That is certainly not the case. Now, of course...
George Burley and Mr. Romanov have both said that.
No, it's not. The case has been much more complicated than that. But I don't want to look back at the past. The important thing is the future as far as we're concerned. And I believe that we can achieve a top-class manager. After all, this club is not just at the top of the SPL, it has got some fantastic players, as we saw today, and it's got the resources to bring in even more players in the January window. Not many clubs can say that. No other club, in fact, in Scotland can say all of those things. And I think this is a very attractive post. I'm absolutely sure there will be people knocking on our door, sending faxes, getting in touch with us tomorrow, even before Monday, even before we start proper operations on Monday, because this is a very attractive post for any manager, not just from the United Kingdom, but beyond. This club is going to go from strength to strength. We're rebuilding this stadium. It is going to be one of the top clubs, I think, ultimately the top club in Scotland, and a lot of people want to be associated with that.
Did George Burley make the fateful mistake of wanting a say in signings?
You see, I think it's absolutely important not to dwell on the past. We've all signed confidentiality agreements, and I would be breaking the confidentiality agreement if I made any comment about what's happened in the past. What I'm sure about is that this club...
The fans need to know, George. I'm sure you accept that. They're scratching their heads. They're wondering what's happened here. They surely need a better explanation than that, do they?
Look, I would be breaking a confidentiality agreement. You as a journalist, if you get a source and you keep confidential, you make that pledge, don't you? You wouldn't reveal that source. Similarly, I've signed...
You want the goodwill of the supporters,
yes,
don't you?
of course we do. And I think we'll get the goodwill of the supporters by reaffirming our determination to continue to make Hearts #1 in Scotland and get into the Champions League and make sure that this club is seen as the kind of club that the supporters want. Now, they've been behind what Mr. Romanov has done. They've seen the money that he's put in. They've seen the players. That you saw Scatchell again today with that brilliant goal. That's the kind of player that has been brought to Hearts. We're looking for more players like that, and we're looking to the future.
But the new manager, presumably, must understand that he will have to bow down to Vladimir Romanov's philosophy on player recruitment.
The new manager will understand exactly the circumstances that he's coming into, and I am absolutely sure that there will be a queue of people sending faxes, sending emails, knocking on our door, if not tomorrow, certainly on Monday, because they want to come to work at Heart of Midlothian, to be our manager, to be part of what is a really great success story. I know there are some people in the west of Scotland who don't want us to be successful. I know there are some west of Scotland media who put all the worst interpretation on it, but we are determined that Hearts is going to be #1 in Scotland, and I'm absolutely sure we'll get the right manager to take us to #1 in Scotland, and that's what the fans want.
When do you hope that new manager will be
Well,
appointed?
we're not going to set any deadline because it's very important that we get the right person, but we're not going to make any undue delay or any rushed appointment. But I can assure you that no stone will be left unturned, and we'll pull out all the stops to get that. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Approximately 11 o'clock this morning, I was asked to go to a meeting with Mr. Romanov at our pre-match venue, and had a meeting with him and a couple of others. So he made it clear then that George Burley and the directors had come to an agreement to part company.
Well, they didn't go into too many details. They just made us aware of the situation, and we appreciate that. We as players, I think, have a duty to know that, and it allowed us then to get together as a group and speak and focus on today's game.
The players were stunned. It's probably the last thing that they would have been expecting, so they were stunned. We gave them said to them to report to the ground at 1:30, and we'd take it from there, because I knew that they would have to try and get their head around it, and to be fair to them, they started the game very well. Personally, I was bitterly disappointed because the manager was extremely popular within the dressing room. He had a great rapport with the players. He was a first-class coach, first-class tactician. His training sessions that he put on were excellent, and
you know, there's a great spirit within the dressing room, and I know how bitterly disappointed the players are with the news, but you know, we responded in the right manner today, in a manner that I'm sure he'd have been proud of.
13 for George Burley. After 12 games as Hearts manager, he was bombed out before yesterday's defeat of struggling Dunfermline, which extended their SPL lead to 6 points until later today at least. Burley and owner Vladimir Romanov parted after agreeing to disagree on how a football club should be run. Coach John McGlynn took caretaker control yesterday, but this was Burley's team. Just the one change to the side, which drew at Celtic Park last Saturday. Craig Gordon suspended then, back for this one to take over from Steve Banks. Roman Bednar is making a good recovery from knee surgery, but not quite ready to return, so Michael Pospisil continued up front. Playmaker Lee Makel was back for Dunfermline, with Jamie McCunney stepping down, and Mark Burchell played a lone role up front as replacement for Bartosz Taraszulski. The referee was Callum Murray.
Jankowski's helped out by Hartley. Tried the volley from 25 yards, took a deflection, and it's the first corner kick of the match. Expect this to be fizzed in at some pace. Well, it could have been caught by Alan McGregor. Punched it, and the deflected shot from Rudy Scatchell cannons off the crossbar. Well, you were looking for McGregor to clutch that one unchallenged. He flapped it out, and Scatchell was so close to opening the scoring, so close to goal number 9 of the season. Scatchell looking to create this time. It was a good delivery for Pospisil, his fellow countryman, and he'll be disappointed he couldn't get over that header. He was coming back out for it, and he headed it too high. In from Makel. Well, they won't be a threat unless they get some ammunition. It was a poor delivery from Makel, not like him. Hearts on the move again with Scatchell, and Paul Hartley's overrun it, and Pospisil had a chance. It's chaos in that Dunfermline defence, but what an opportunity Hearts had. Another one. It was Hartley released through the middle by Scatchell, didn't get a good enough touch. Out came McGregor to make the save, and even then it fell to Pospisil. Fisas, good movement up ahead from Pospisil, and a lovely touch to kill that immediately. Greg Shields blocked his cross. An aimless pass, and possession given away far too cheaply from a Dunfermline point of view, and Camazola blasts a shot over the top. There were options inside. Paul Hartley had made a good run into the box. Pospisil was there as well, and I think Samuel Camazola took the wrong option. That's well won by Young, the Darren version. But Dunfermline can't keep possession for any great length of time. Left by Hartley for Scatchell, twisting one way then the other. And his shot in the end was deflected off Greg Shields. What a joy to watch the Czech midfielder is. That's a good pass. Bags of room for Derek Young. And Darren. It's Darren Young this time who pulls his shot wide of target. That was Scott Thompson's header. Rudy Scatchell threads it through for Jankowskis, tried to work it on for Camazola. Scatchell involved again, and how? There's no stopping Scatchell. His 9th goal of the season. He's scored against Kilmarnock, Hibs, Dundee United, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Livingston, Inverness, Celtic, and now Dunfermline. It's 1-0 Hearts, and it's another brilliant finish from Rudy Scatchell. 21 minutes played. So much composure about Hearts, and the confidence that comes from heading towards an 11th SPL game unbeaten. Shields heading it away. You get the feeling it's damage limitation for Dunfermline, and they just can't seem to limit the damage. It's 2-0. 2 in just over 2 minutes, and it's Michael Pospisil this time. And Dunfermline contributed to their own downfall there. It was sluggish defending, to say the least, and they're punished again. It's Pospisil who scored late on against Aberdeen, who's now scored number 2 here. And Hearts already, you would have to say, minus a manager, are cruising. Scott Thompson tidying up at the back. That's right down the throat of Brellier. Ahead of him, Hartley. Back for the Frenchman. Lovely play. Hartley again steps over it, hoping there was a maroon shirt tucked in behind him. There wasn't. What can Dunfermline make of this? It's a decent strike from Derek Young. It's on target this time, which is notable. 10 minutes from half-time. You wouldn't say Dunfermline deserved too much, but a goal might make a difference. And there was a chance for Mark Burchill right on the penalty spot, ghosting in, not picked up, and his glancing header went wide. Heading for half-time at Tynecastle. 2 down, Dunfermline. And likely to go further behind if they keep playing passes like that. Thompson's header. It's dropping for Jan Kaskis. It's dropping over the top of the crossbar. But again, Dunfermline doing no favours to themselves. Sloppy stuff. Jan Kaskis making a nuisance of himself! And Pospisil within inches of scoring his second and Hearts' third. That was good work from Jan Kaskis to flick that on, removing Scott Thompson in the process. He's still grounded, and the chance opened up for Pospisil, and it wouldn't come down quickly enough for him. Flicked the bar on its way over. Scatchell's free kick. What a delivery for Andy Webster. A huge chance for goal number 3, and Webster failed to take it. So well set up by Scatchell, played in with such pace, difficult to defend, and Webster tried to guide his header home. Andy Webster, who's had the best chance of the second half to add to Hearts' tally. Hartley for Pospisil, now Brellier. Camazola. Pospisil leaves it to Nielsen. Great ball in. Jan Kaskis should surely have scored. Well, it was a great ball in that from Robbie Nielsen, and you would have put some money on that being stuck away by a striker of the pedigree of Jan Kaskis. Fassis. Pospisil plays it wide for Česnauskas. Skipping away from Zambernardi's challenge, and a decent curling effort from the Lithuanian, which needed to come back a little bit more to be a big danger for Alan McGregor. Scatchell and Hartley over the ball. Those two combine, and it's Rudy Scatchell! What an opportunity for his second of the game. Brilliant link up between those two. Such a clever ploy, that one. Dunfermline lost Scatchell completely, and you were bargaining there on him making it 3-0. Darren Young hauled back by Stephen Presley, and there's major trouble for the Hearts captain. He switched off for one fateful moment there. Darren Young was in behind him. Unavoidable red card. Stephen Presley will reckon that was 90 minutes. And Presley had to be sent off because Darren Young had a surefire goal-scoring opportunity.